This is a log, or actually a post, that a guy's letting me carve on. And it is close to 200 years old. It was on an old ranch or farm, home place out around the Frio River, out in kind of southwest Texas, around Uvalde, Garner State Park, around that area. And this, the guy that is a family farm, and the guy that had it had some of these posts, and they could date it back between 175 and 200 years old. So he's entrusted this with me, and I'm going to try to put a Native American face in it, but it is full of knots. And where I'd like to put it is right here, but yet it's cracked. So I don't think that would be good. But we'll see. It had that blue ribbon on it that just fell off, but that's how I can remember who it is. Well, actually, I will remember this anyway, because this is a very unique piece. Here I have a hole drilled in the middle, and that's where I put my trusty wood carving screw. And once it gets started in there, man, this is going to be a hard piece of wood. I'll try to get this screwed in there. This may take a while. Alright, I've just kind of marked the face. Like, here's the top of the head and here's the chin. His eyes will be here. Hair, probably a robe coming out here. All this is very much subject to change, but I just like this robe idea because there's a knot right there that'll be real good. There's a little one here. I just see it going over like that. We'll see how that works out. I think that's about the size face I can get away with on here, and I'm not going to carve the top off. I'm going to kind of make it as much as I can to be a full size head. Like, this will be the profile and this will be the point of the nose. But I'm just going to cut all this back, cut through here. Right now I'm just going to hit these safe zones that I know I got to go back quite a bit. And I'm going to get those, as they say, knocked out of there. Ha! Pun intended. And just work it as I go. Tilt it up just a little. Well, tilt it up just a little bit. You kind of still know. And I don't, you know what's going on, know what I'm going for. And I'm just going to see how this cuts. This is not to be overly dramatic, but it is kind of scary. I've carved cedar before, and it's it can be tricky. Not going to take too much off because it will split. So I'm just going to go slow on this part. I'm kind of just diving in because you don't know where the red part's going to be. May have to get way back in there, and also probably I'll have to drill this bottom out to put this screw in there again and hold it a little better. On these, I like to leave as much, especially in the base, as much natural wood. I think that makes a real pretty carving. And if I got over on the other side, it would tighten up. Again, this is just the area under the chin. I know it needs to go way back. And this will be nowhere near the close enough to of removing enough wood to get where I want to be with it. We'd like to see a pop of red come up pretty soon. whoops, first whoops. Ah, red. Well, very little right there in that knot. What happens though is that turns, it gets hard to see. I can't see what I'm doing. Let's see. This is, I know it's shaking back and forth a lot, and I was just going to see how 2 feet, about 21 inches, about 21 inches long or tall. Okay. I don't know if you can tell it, but like this right here is the highest point and his nose needs to be here. So this is going to come down. And since it's easier to carve in that direction than it is across, I'll just get as much of that off as I can. I know this has all got to be pushed back. Kind of start with a flat surface. Wonder what kind of bug that is. It right up there that drilled into a piece of cedar. Dude, it's pretty wood so far, pretty grain. right, I usually don't put in all those lines because I carve them off, and I know where they are on a regular flat piece of wood where everything's real uniform. I really don't use them that much, but here I'm afraid that piece that was higher, and it's still higher up there, kind of gives me a, I don't know, I guess you'd say a false reading, so I'm going to marker it up again. Like that's going to be the top. Lost my chin. Let's see. This may be bigger or smaller. If that's the case, let's see if that's. That doesn't look right. I guess it is. Well, their carbon screw came out. Yeah, it'll be. Probably raise that up some. Raise everything up. Okay, I'm happy with that little mark. Now let me go see if I can get that carbon screw in there better. Okay, so I've got this put back on. I'm gonna move the hairline up to here, move the chin up. Might be a little bit bigger face than I had a while ago. This is the halfway point, and on some of my Native Americans' faces, I like to set the eyes kind of on top of that line and not through the line. So I think I'm gonna do that there. To me, I just like the way that looks, particularly on this one, because I don't have a whole lot of big wide wood to work with, so I know his face is gonna be narrow. And it'll run like from there down to here, there down to here, outline and go up there, and then that's hair. And I'm going to divide this down to the facial part of thirds, where I'll have the forehead, nose, and mouth and chin area, and then divide the chin to the nose into thirds, and have the lips and all that stuff. I do have a set pattern that I normally like to work in. Like to get the forehead all carved back, but this time I'm going to put the brow line in, because I think it'll be easier for me to keep that on the carving than to keep carving the lines in. And I'm going to make it pretty straight across there. Again, using a big gouge. I know there's a lot of wood to take off yet. And I also know those lines I put on are merely suggestions, because things will change. It's hot. That's why it's got sweat on it now. I'm gonna have to move inside and get out of this shop. I'm really just playing this by ear. I'll keep measuring this. I know this is the third, so I know I'm gonna get that where I can mark it right. So that's like close to the brow line, and I know this needs to go back quite a bit. And I know that I'm not at the point now where I'm going to be taking off too much. I know I want a prominent nose, so it'll be deep. This, I don't know, the ridge between the forehead and the nose. What I'll do is just look over here at the profile and realize like that's the tip of the nose. That might be a pretty nice angle right now. I can't really see what I'm doing here, but and to some degree, this is the way I set up all my faces. And I'll do one on some, what I call Santa limbs. And it's just cut through here. And usually on any of the faces I do, that's kind of the way I've learned to work them. But a lot of times I don't do that nose part just yet. I know that's going to need to go back, but that's going to give me a pretty good starting point. And I'm going to leave the line there for the bottom of the nose, but might as well get rid of some of this. Not a lot though. And by the way, I don't have that screwed in tight, so that's why it's moving a whole lot. When I'm working on a piece like this, I know that red wood is in there somewhere, and I want to get to that, especially on the Indian face, but we'll see how it works.